today I just want to go over a few of the reasons why Black women struggle with weight loss and healthy eating. And the Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Blossom, helping you to slowly unfold and bloom like a flower, helping you to have long-term success with health and fitness. And today I wanted to do a video that was kind of suggested or requested or just mentioned that I should do, and that's the major reasons that women of color, especially Black women, have a hard time losing weight and getting healthy, or have a hard time losing weight and eating healthy. And so this is gonna be like an ongoing thing on my channel, because my channel is about health and fitness. I'm gonna break this video up into 3 main parts, and these are going to be where we can just start the conversation about why it might seem difficult for Black women to lose weight and eat healthy. And so in this first video, I'm going to go over the first points, and there will be 2 more parts of this video series, and the third part is going to probably be the most important. The first reason that I'm going to go over is like the reason for a lot of things, your upbringing, and because of the way your mom or your family raised you. Really, like, weight loss and health and fitness is really deep. Sometimes people just think about like exercising and eating right, and that's great. That is a huge part, but there's a lot of deeper issues that no one is really talking about. And so something to really think about is the way you were brought up and the way your mom and dad or whoever raised you did or did not set you up for success in health and fitness. That's completely not your fault, and that's really something to take a look at and to really make sure that you factor in as to why you might be struggling. Not to use it as an excuse of why you are where you are, or not to use it as an excuse of why you don't need to change, but just to factor that in and think about it. Well,
you know, hey, I wasn't really set up for success in this area.
Also be factoring in with your upbringing and whoever raised you, that those are the surroundings, and that is the type of environment around health and fitness that you know. So sometimes when you're brought up around something, or when you're taught anything in general, you just continue to do it that way, or you just continue to believe that that is how things are done. For instance, if you ate beef, pork, chicken, fish, and all the meats that are available to us, and you ate fried chicken a few times a week, and you ate minimal vegetables, and you didn't really see your parents go to the gym, your parents didn't really promote physical activities or extracurricular activities with movement involved, and you guys didn't really eat a lot of vegetables. I didn't know about asparagus until I got into college. I actually did a paper for one of my nutrition classes in university. I did on asparagus and how amazing it was, and how I just wasn't brought up with a vast variety of vegetables that I had tried. And so I didn't try asparagus until I got into college, until I educated myself on health, because I was so interested in health and all things health naturally, that I took it upon myself. But I know a lot of people are not like that. And so if you're brought up in a certain environment, if you're brought up being taught that this is the way we eat, this is normal, this is acceptable, this is okay, this is not okay, however you were brought up, those beliefs are being deeply rooted inside of you. And if you don't learn how to challenge them, or if you're not open-minded, if you haven't been open-minded, if you don't like take it upon yourself to learn and grow and get better and educate yourself and things like that, then that's how you think it's okay to eat, or those are the vegetables that you will think are available, or that's the type of activity you think you're supposed to do, like whatever you saw your parents doing or whoever raised you doing. So that's the first thing, really. To me, we have to go back to the root of things sometimes and just go all the way back to childhood. However you were brought up is probably how you just continue to eat, and that's one reason that it's so important that you break the system, that you break that cycle. And then just to kind of like piggyback off of that, however you were raised and brought up, that might like segue into a lack of education about healthy eating, about diet, about exercise, and about topics related to health. Like if you were brought up a certain way, maybe there wasn't a lot of education, maybe there wasn't a lot of knowledge spread around these topics, maybe it wasn't even really a conversation in your household about health and fitness. And so that's not your fault, and that is what happens a lot of the time in a lot of black households and a lot of households of color. It's just not really talked about too much. I'm talking about the topic of health and fitness or weight or healthy eating. It's not really talked about a lot, and so there might be a lack of education there about what is healthy eating and what types of exercises you should be doing. So that's a really big major thing, like your upbringing, your surroundings, that goes into your education, your level of knowledge on health and everything like that. And then kind of to segue off of those two a little bit is income. I'm not saying that women of color or black women don't have the income or the resources, because a lot of us are very affluent and we do have a certain level of income that would afford us anything that a very healthy person had access to. But for the women of color and for black women who don't make a lot of money or who live in lower income areas, that is a factor to consider. So if you yourself are maybe living in a low income area, or you don't consider yourself to have a lot of money to spend on healthy fresh produce, or to spend on personal trainer or a health and fitness coach, or to spend like on a nice gym membership or wonderful classes and activities that will get you moving, then that might be a factor in why you might be having a difficult time losing weight. If you just don't see that you have a budget to include a lot of things that you would need to spend money on to get healthy and fit, if you didn't have the resources to be able to do that, that is a really huge factor. Oh, and also, if you live in a lower income area, you might be living in a food desert, which is a big factor. Food deserts are a big factor, because if you don't have a place around your house where you can get a lot of fresh produce and really high quality food, then it might be harder for you to access it. None of these are excuses for you. I do want to make that very clear, because anything you want to do, you absolutely will do. But these are some of the reasons that I've seen as I've observed people and as I've studied health. Okay, the solution for food deserts is to go wherever the high income area is and do your grocery shopping. So I actually think that even if you do live in a food desert, there are so many ways around that, and that is not an excuse that you should be able to use as to why you might be struggling. Do I live in a food desert? I go where high income areas are to do my shopping. And I do that because health and fitness, healthy eating is very important to me. And when you change your diet, something to factor in is if you stop eating beef, pork, so much dairy, so much processed food, so much sweets, then the money that you would have been spending on those items and fast food is now going to go into the money that you will use to buy fresh produce and high quality food. It's gonna weigh itself out, really. It's not gonna be that much of a difference if you stop eating all of these unhealthy foods. Now you have the money to buy these healthy foods. Try not to make the cost of healthy food a factor. Spend whatever it costs. Spend whatever it costs to eat healthy, because I mean, it's really important. Like, it's really really, 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 really important. Now, gym memberships, personal trainers, fitness classes, and all of that stuff you can find for really cheap or free. So that shouldn't be a factor at all. But food, I do understand sometimes it can get pricey. But since you have eliminated those other foods, now you have freed up some money to get the foods that are gonna be good and healthy for your body. So yeah, little side note is that me and one of my pet peeves is any excuse given to black women when it comes to their health. I can't let you make up any excuse for why you can't be healthy, because even if you don't have a budget, you don't need a budget. If you're buying pork, then you have a budget. If you're eating McDonald's, you have a budget. If you going to the club, then you have a budget. If you are doing extracurricular activities, you have a budget. If you're getting your nails done from Asians, you have a budget. If you're buying $300 weaves, you have a budget to eat healthy and to work out. You have the budget. You have the budget. Actually, you have the budget for whatever is important to you. And that's why you need to stay tuned to hear about the other tips that I'm going to go over, because they will really help you to kind of think about some other things that are not directly related to health and fitness, or that you wouldn't think are directly related to health and fitness, but they really are. So we've went over your upbringing and how you were raised. We've went over education or lack thereof about health and fitness, and we've also went over income or a lack thereof, and how those three things really relate to why black women might struggle to lose weight and eat healthy. So in the next video, I'll go over the next set of tips, and like I said, the third video in this series is going to be the most important. And actually, I'm writing a book. The 3 tips that I'm going to give in the third part of this video are the most important points of my book. So I'm going to spill tea and give you all the game, because I actually love you guys, and I will see you in the next video.